Hello, I'm Kevin Selmeyer with the Grand Rapids Fire Department in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I've been asked to provide a segment on how to manage a Mayday for the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation Courage to Be Safe program. In this kit that you've received, there's many topics in here. I hope that you get a chance to take a look at all the topics, but I'd like you especially to pay attention to this topic on Mayday. This is a topic that we need to talk about in the fire service. You know, we have SOPs, we have SOGs, we have policies on communication, we have a whole host of things for what we're supposed to do if we have a Mayday in our department. But the reality is that if we have a Mayday, if you haven't practiced many of the things that are in that policy, it's going to make it a whole lot harder for us to get you and make that rescue. We had a fire a few years ago in Grand Rapids. It was at the Radio City Tavern. The fire started in a bar. It was in an ordinary constructed building that sat on about a half a city block. When it was all said and done, we had one of our members who became trapped in the building. That night, he didn't get out the Mayday. Maybe he would have liked to have gotten out. Because as he shared with me, when you're tangled up and you're not sure what to do, as in you're wondering if you're even going to get out of the situation, a lot of things are going through your mind, and it's not necessarily lunar. He was able to get out, Mayday, Mayday, and we provided some radio traffic, and we'll let you listen to that. Okay, we just shared the first piece of audio with you, and you heard the Mayday. Many of you probably missed it. In fact, on the fire ground that night, all of the people on the fire ground that had PT radios that were working on that scene did not hear it. The only person to hear it was a firefighter who was wearing a headset, which is part of our RIT team, and he heard that. He brought it to the incident commander's attention. The next piece of video that I'll share with you, you'll hear the incident commander calling out on the fire ground, trying to confirm if there is a Mayday or not.
Dispatch, did you just copy a Mayday? Negative, command, I did not. Do we have a Mayday on the fire ground? Do we have a Mayday? E10, do you have a Mayday? Command, dispatch copied, no Mayday.
With nobody answering the Mayday, nobody responding to his call out onto the fire ground if anybody had a Mayday, and deteriorating building conditions, the incident commander had to make a choice. He made a choice to evacuate the building in this case, or to retreat from the building. Fact of the matter is, in a regular Mayday situation, when we can confirm the Mayday, pulling out of the building isn't the best option. We should actually keep doing what we're doing to allow the RIT team to get in there and do this. But being unable to find out for sure whether we had a Mayday or not, and looking at going defensive in our strategy on this fire, the incident commander chose to leave the building. I'll share some more video with you of us conducting the PAR, the Personal Accountability Report. Many of you have a policy on that, but as you're hearing some of the radio traffic here, it's one thing to ask and the answers that you get back. The incident commander that night was very much in control of that fire, and at the end we did have PAR.
E10 from command, do you account for all your people? Command. Go ahead, Division C. We have quite a mixed crew right here in the back, but I'm trying to get an accountability on everybody. I'll get back with you in about 1 minute. Car 2 is on the scene. Car 2 to command. Call fire. E10 from Bridge Command. E10 from Bridge Command. par 3. E1 from command, your par. Par 2. Do you have one at a pump? Negative, I have par 3. 10 for par 3. Truck 3, your par. Truck 3, par 4. Squad 1, your par. Squad 1, par 3. Who are you missing, Squad 1? Equipment operator, Gray. Division C to Bridge Command. Firefighter Gray is in the rear. 10-4, Squad 1 has par 4 then, 1 in the rear. Dispatch from Bridge Command. Go ahead, Command. We have par on the fire ground. This is a defensive attack. This is a defensive attack. Conditions have worsened. Command advising par on the fire ground. Defensive attack only at this time. Copy, hold up.
The Radio Tavern fire taught us many lessons. We found out that in a lot of cases what we thought was people would roll right through that Mayday. It didn't exactly happen that way. We also found out in listening to some of the footage that the battalion chief was very quickly to recognize that there was this situation. The fact of the matter of that fire though was that many of the people that were on the fire ground never heard the Mayday. It was one person on our RIT team wearing a headset monitoring a PT that actually heard it and brought it to the incident commander's attention. But the reality is that if we have a Mayday, if you haven't practiced many of the things that are in that policy, it's going to make it a whole lot harder for us to get you and make that rescue. How many of you have actually thought about what are you going to say if you have a Mayday? You know, that's something you ought to be thinking about. I mean, we're going into burning buildings. It's something that we ought to be including even in the fire academy. We need to make sure that you have a plan. Your plan starts with you being able to use the information on this graphic. The word lunar is used for the information that you need to share with the incident commander in a Mayday situation. L is for the location where you are at, if known. U is for the unit number. It could be the engine you arrived on, that number. It could be the functional assignment that you were given, as in the fire attack group. N is your full name. A is for air supply, or the amount of air that you have left in your tank. And R is for resources needed for rescue. What equipment might you need that would aid in your rescue? You need to practice this so that you are able to clearly recite all the information contained in lunar to provide this information to the incident commander to coordinate your rescue in a Mayday situation. I would encourage you to stand in front of the mirror every morning as you get ready to head out for your day and to actually call a Mayday. Give your lunar. Run through what I just did. Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. First floor. Engine 1, Selmayr. Half a tank of air. I need some wire cutters. I'm entangled. If you go through that process and you share that information, it becomes a habit. It becomes a routine so that someday, and it could be the worst day of your life, when you're caught up in a burning building, you're going to be able to get that information out. But further, it's great that our firefighters are practicing this. And I talk to a lot of firefighters. You know, they say, we go to all these classes and we learn about what we're going to do to call a Mayday. We have RIT team practice. We go to RIT schools. But how many of you incident commanders out there, how many of you company officers out there have thought about how you're going to handle a Mayday? The National Fallen Firefighter Foundation has provided you this Courage to Be Safe resource kit. Question I have to ask you, are you going to do anything with it? In this kit, there's information on what you need to do if you were a firefighter in a Mayday situation. It talks about some of the things that you can do to help get the RIT team to you quicker, to help the incident commander handle this event quicker. The reality is the incident commander needs to train as hard as the firefighter who needs to call Mayday. We need to be comfortable as an incident commander that we can handle this Mayday. I hope that you take this information. It's not just a DVD provided that sits on a shelf and gets dusty. I hope it's something that you use, because the reality is we all got a lot of work out there to make the American Fire Service safer. For that, I'd like to thank you for your time, and please be safe out there, but also have the courage to go out and make a difference and make the fire service safer.